What up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the Pastrybear podcast. I'm your host, Winston Murdock. And today, we have a special guest. His name is Chef Noel Cunningham. How you doing, Chef?
Hey, bro, what's up? I'm good. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, definitely. The pleasure is mine. I've been watching your Instagram for a while, and I got to tell you, man, you are a very, very creative chef. And I like your work, and I like your vibe. You know what I mean?
Yes, man. I appreciate.
You know, yeah. You know what I mean? You know, you have some chefs, they're just so stricken, just so firm on their cooking. You seem like you have a lot of fun with your food.
Yeah, man. I try to have some fun with the food, because you know that the personality go a long way, right? And I'm always, from high school, I'm always into drama and those stuff, and I love entertainment.
Right.
It just come naturally, you know. So.
Right. Yeah. So Noah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
All right, so I was born and raised, Kingston, in Mar Valley, of course.
Oh, Mar Valley?
Yeah, man, Mar Valley, off Washington Boulevard.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, man, my place. Yeah, so pretty much that's where I'm from, yeah.
Yeah, and I read previously or earlier today, I was reading on it, and I saw that you went to Runaway Bay Heart.
Yes, man, which, the prestige place, right?
Yes. So, I am also a past student of that school, too.
Yes, man, yeah.
I think it's one of the best culinary schools in Jamaica.
Oh yeah, it is. Art is definitely, Runaway Art is definitely the best, because while you're there, of course, you get in the hands-on experience, right? And the level of, I would say, facilitators that they have, your training, your experience on the hotel is like second to none, which makes it, one of the best.
Right. So how did you get from Mar Valley to get into the career of culinary? Alrighty,
so like most chefs, they learn from their grandmother or their mother or aunt. For me, it was both my mom and my aunt. I was always curious about the kitchen and what they're doing. So my mom now, of course, cook, always cooking, always in the kitchen. So I used to watch her a lot until I started asking questions. And my aunt, have me with her now in the kitchen.
Right.
And my aunt is a professional chef. So by being around her now, she realized that I really love it. Mm-hmm. So she introduced me now to the Food Network. And then from the Food Network, I realized, okay, I can be on TV, I can do this, I can do that. It's not just what people take cooking as, because back then, I would say, it's mostly the slow learners or persons who are not qualified to be certain things, going to skills in high school or, especially in Jamaica.
Right.
And then I realized that cooking is more than what they think it was, so I always watch creative cooking. And I always see all these chefs doing creative cooking. And I saw, at the end, their name, and then it's Runaway Bay Heart. I'm like, yo, that's the school I want to go.
Oh.
So while I was going to high school now, we always go to the open day there. And I'm like, yo, this is a school, yo. And I applied right away, and I just push. And I'm like, yo, that's where I want to go. But even when I leave high school, I didn't want to go to UTech nowhere. I was like, yo, Runaway Bay Heart, and I pushed for it.
Right. Oh man, you was focused on that. And honestly, my story is a little bit different, because my grandmother's actually the one that got me into the culinary school, because I had no interest in it. When I was going to high school, I used to do food preparation, but I was just doing it because that was the only thing that was available. So but when I got there, I can remember the first day when I got to Runaway Bay Heart, and I saw the whole setup, and you remember they do this thing they call the hands-on training, where on the Saturdays you go to the property.
Yeah. I did those too.
Man, let me tell you something. The first time I did that, that's when I realized that I'm going to stick to this field. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know I wanted to be a chef. But that's very interesting. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've been looking on your picture and your Instagram and a lot of stuff that you're doing, and I realized that, like you said in one of your interviews, that you like to do your dishes for home cooks.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what would you consider your cooking style to be like?
All right, so my cooking style, I try to keep it very simple, straightforward, and I do have different styles, but my main thing is more towards home cook. Why I do my weekly What's Cooking with Chef Noel live on Instagram or YouTube and all these stuff.
Right.
But at the end of the day, these are the people who gravitate to you daily, on a daily basis, right? And they're the one who follow you for inspiration. And, for me to inspire them, I can't do something that's all top notch. They can't replicate that. They can't do that.
Right.
So when you think about it now, so I would say my style overall is say Jamaican fusion and overall.
Right, right.
Using Jamaican flavors with international dishes.
Right.
Because really and truly, the Jamaican cuisine, of course, is limited. So I always say, but our flavors are not. And it's for us as chefs to build on that as we go along.
Right.
And when you say Jamaican fusion, you're like, because you have Italian and French, but you can also use Jamaican flavors with those food.
Right.
And take it home and make it becomes Jamaican. Because at the end of the day, food is universal.
Right.
All we have is also ackee and saltfish, oxtail, the curry goat. We can't do that every day. So if we do some oxtail ravioli, and the oxtail ravioli, Jamaicans known for oxtail, we'll cut the oxtail our way and use it now with some Italian inspiration. So Jamaican fusion.
So all right, for dishes like that now, because like I said, I am also Jamaican. If you were supposed to serve that, I don't think a Jamaican would buy it. Because the first thing they're gonna tell you is, oxtail. Yeah, you can't use oxtail and make that. What would you tell somebody like that?
So you have some people who leave Jamaica a long time, because I'm here in Canada, right? Toronto.
Right.
And there are some people who they want to eat differently. You can't please everybody. And the thing is, Jamaicans are stuck in a box, just like, box food.
Yeah.
They want fried chicken, curry gravy.
Yes.
They want stew peas with enough pigtail in it. They want Jamaicans, you can't play with Jamaican food. You understand? They want it or they want it. But I'm not going to be held in a box. And that's the reason why I'm not going to be held in a box, because of them.
Right.
I see myself as a chef first, and I see myself as a Jamaican chef after.
Right.
Even though I'm from Jamaica, but at the same time, I'm going to limit my career and limit my reach by just cooking oxtail, jerk chicken, and ackee and saltfish and fried dumpling. I am more than that. So my aim is to appeal to the people who are willing to try something different or something new. And it's up to us as a chef to also take that charge and bring the vibe, bring the food, change the game. Right. Because Jamaica celebrating 58 years of independence, right?
Right.
And so we need to build on the culinary as well. Take it from just regular jerk chicken to, there are some things you won't trouble, right? Because some things are just traditional.
Right.
So you won't trouble those. But definitely we have to change the game as chefs.
I really believe that too, and that's one of my future plans or future goals, because I realize that when you step outside of Jamaica and you go overseas, you realize how much people are in love with the culture and the food.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you go to Jamaica, it's like they don't realize how much power they have with their food and culture. You know what I mean? And most of the times they embrace other cuisines.
Cuisine,
you know what I mean? Rather than just using theirs and improve on it. You know? And
we have a good sweet potato, because even here, this Jamaican sweet potato is so expensive.
Yeah.
Even the one from Costa Rica or other countries.
Right.
It is way different. So our food is really good, but it's for us to build on it.
Right.
It's for us to build on it.
And I was also I did a research, and I realized that you made a comment on another interview where you were saying that you don't think the people of Jamaica embrace their chefs, right?
Yeah.
Why do you feel like that?
All right, so I feel like that because we're coming a long way. We're still going there, and we have lots of events now that's happening, that's showcasing chef.
Right.
Show the person like Novia, who started the Observer Food Award like 4 years ago, highlighting chefs and persons and hotels and the industry. And there are other, I would say there are other events that highlight chef. There's a lot more that can be done in terms of putting the Jamaican chefs on the map and globally.
Right.
And supporting them, because in everything it takes support. And I heard, what is his name again? Ed Bartlett saying that chefs are the backbone of the aspect of the industry.
Definitely.
And it is true, because you find that when people come to Jamaica, food is the first thing they talk about. You hardly hear somebody say, my room was so nice, I love my room. Big up to all the housekeepers, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has the front desk, everyone, it takes a team.
Definitely.
At the same time, they'll tell you about, the food food shop, the jerk chicken, oh my God, you guys have the best food. But we are putting the food out there, but at the same time, we're not putting enough personalities behind it.
Right.
And I see where, for example, tourist board might sponsor stuff overseas, and I'm like, yo, a chef could be going with that.
Right.
Can you tell me a Jamaica culinary ambassador?
No, actually, I don't know. I don't think they have.
No, I can't tell you one.
I don't think
there's not
one specific person that they say, okay, this is a person. I think like if there's an event going on overseas, what they'll do is they'll have a chef that they'll just send over to do some dishes.
All right.
But it's not like, you know what I mean?
So for example, now when you think about Barbados, think about St. Lucia, trust me, these guys are winning. When it come on to all their culinary federation and it comes to their country, pushing them and celebrating them, right?
Right.
Let's say culinary ambassador, you have a lot of unofficial culinary ambassadors in Jamaica. And all of us are ambassadors, all of us.
Definitely.
Because we are representing Jamaica, right? But at the same time, it would be good to have at least a few official ambassadors where when you see, for example, a few food companies in Jamaica, you don't see any chefs in their ads. You don't see any chefs on their billboard.
That's true.
All you see is some media personality cooking or media personality doing this. And that's what, you understand? So there's not enough respect for the craft itself. I could mention a few names of companies that I see with this foolishness.
Right.
Like you don't go to Jamaica, you see I have a few chefs on billboard like, yo, these are the chefs who are representing brand Jamaica. These are, like even every 5 years, you change it out. Like that.
Or you can have like 2 or 3 people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and that's a good point because like I'm saying, I definitely see the point that you're making. I've seen a lot of commercials and majority of them are entertainers, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I think it's a bit of shock value when you put an entertainer like a singer or a dancehall artist on a package or a product.
Yeah. All right, this is I was in Jamaica and there was a Grace ad on TV. When I look in the ad, it was Shelly and Fraser, Ding Dong, Valier, and all these people. I'm not sure if Fairlington was in it and all these other people. And it was a long ad and they were doing their stuff, Christmas food, and then some food came out.
Right.
I'm sure that those guys on set cook those food. Shelly and Fraser will tell you that she don't cook, she can't cook.
Right.
But at the same time, I know a chef cook that food for them to have on set.
Right.
I've been an ad where you have a chef in the background, even the chef in the background just stirring something, like a magician, and then appear and the food is there and be creative, but other chef in the mix.
Right.
You understand? So there is not enough support, for chefs itself in Jamaica. They don't sell it. And then for now, because of Instagram, if those who are the most following, they would tend to say, okay, this person represents the brand because it's all about influence. It's no longer about substance anymore.
Oh wow, well said. Well said. And like I said, maybe this conversation or maybe you can be one of those persons that really can show these brands that we should use more chefs to advertise food. It don't make no sense. It really don't make no sense.
We have to tell a story.
Right.
Chefs, and then I see all these companies have all these new product on the market. Like it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy.
It's
I see on Instagram this company has this media personality every weekend doing some cooking and the mess that's happening and whatever, and I'm like, it's all for hype. It's no longer about substance. Back then, for me, as I said earlier, creative cooking influenced me to become a chef.
Right.
Can you imagine what it would be like to have a next good cooking show on television to inspire the next generation to come?
Right. So it's like that. I think that's why the culture is so driven on music, because they are, they highlighting one aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like before it was sports and then it was music, and it's like there's always an oversight or overlook on culinary. You know what I mean? But when you think about it, then you have a lot of chefs that are migrating to different countries because of food.
Dubai has most of our chefs now.
That's what I'm saying.
The Jamaican culture gone there. Canada, everybody wants a bus to Canada.
Right.
Florida, all over are on the ship.
Right.
So your clients now is just,
Yeah.
what's left.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, definitely. But being that you spoke about Canada, I see that you're living in Canada, right? I want to know what is the vibe like with the food scene, like the Jamaican food scene in Canada? Like how are the people receiving the culture and the food?
Trust me, they love it. They love the Jamaican food. Whether they're Jamaicans who came here a long time or they're white people.
Right.
trust me, they love the culture. They love the jerk chicken or the oxtail, the rice and bean. And then you have so much Jamaican restaurants here.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, man, lots. Like even every corner.
Wow. It's the same thing where I'm at in Florida. You know, Florida, there's a lot of Jamaicans here. Yeah. But like every time you go to a Jamaican restaurant, majority of the people in there are like Americans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm like, yo, really? You know, you would think that we see more Jamaicans coming to have Jamaican food, but you find that like American people really embrace the food. They love it.
Because I guess the Jamaicans, you know, they will cook their own food at their home. They might just have something on the weekend or they're busy, they just have something. And then sometimes you find that with so many Jamaican restaurants, the food really and truly, it don't taste authentic to us.
Yes.
But for the white folks, they don't know. So they will gravitate to it because they love the little spice, they love the flavor. They don't know, they grab a beef patty. But for us, when we don't get authentic taste, it throws off. It's like, yo, red.
Yeah, something missing out of it.
Yeah, man, yeah. And the thing is with Jamaican cuisine is that, and I see it right now, everybody and their mother is a chef, from them can cook rice and peas, curry goat, jerk chicken, oxtail.
Mm-hmm.
Typical, every Jamaican learn to cook from them grew up. Every girl had to go in the kitchen. Yo, you better learn to cook as man go kill you. Learn to cook, right?
Right.
So it was embedded in as Jamaicans to cook. Some guys was forced in the kitchen, right?
Right.
Yo, when I give you this food, you better learn to cook. So all the way, and I learned to cook from a young age.
Right.
You find that most Jamaicans, when they migrate now, the first thing that they would think to do is a restaurant. So that's why you find some Jamaican restaurant in every corner or a jerk corner because it's our way of living.
Right.
Easy. So you find different flavors, different interpretation of the food, you know? So
definitely. So being in Canada and being that the people are embracing the culture, I want to, because I see that you were also an executive chef back in Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
And you were also an executive chef in Canada. Mm-hmm. So can you compare the difference with management and what would you say now, like the operation of being an executive chef in Canada and being an executive chef in Jamaica?
All right. So I was the kitchen manager / executive chef, same thing.
Yeah. At
Cafe Mantra and a few others in Jamaica. A Cafe Mantra, no, it was a cafe in Barbican. It was new. I, created a menu, help with the front of the house, help in terms of promotion, marketing for the restaurant itself.
Right.
Then so like coming here now, it was somewhat the same in terms of doing the schedule, right?
Right.
Ordering goods, stuff like that. But I think here it was much pressuring compared because we have more trained people back in Jamaica. But here it's like anybody can do it.
Right.
You just need anybody and they kind of train them to what they want, right?
Exactly.
So it's more pressuring because you have to be behind them like that. While in Jamaica now,
you have like a more structured team that you're working with.
Yeah, structured team, and they have some amount of experience as well. And for here, as well, in terms of the kitchen, it's not like it's a career for them. For you and I, it's a career, right? It's our life, it's our bread and butter.
Right.
But for them, they're either going to college, the hours is flexible, and it's the easiest job to get because people don't stay in it.
Right. So it's like just something to like a pass by, something to move on to the next step.
It's more pressure in the air in terms of the staff aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, in terms of creativity, it's somewhat limited here because especially when you're more northern, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more frozen stuff and more frozen stuff like that. And I'll come pre-packaged most time.
Okay.
So and then as a Jamaican, I try to bring the jerk chicken, try to bring the little flair, try to liven up the dishes and add my own little twist because sometimes it's who they had before, right?
Right.
Who experience. So you as a Jamaican chef who come in now to change things a bit and start show them how you can make things work.
Right. And pretty much like building up flavors from a lot. Because like you said, I realized that to myself that the way people they operate now in most of the hotels is they are prepackaged stuff. It's straightforward. Most of the stuff is prepackaged.
The stuff make already. Tomato sauce. I see all these stuff. Like trust me.
And it's different from for us coming from Jamaica. Like for me, I used to work in the all inclusives, and and we have to make everything from scratch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's super way different.
And it's easier.
I'm making, they call it, one time I was making the potato au gratin, and they already have the potato in a box, sliced, dried already, and the powder sauce coming in. So all you do is mix that sauce in a certain amount of water,
right?
And you put those potato, you bake. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
That must be stressful.
And there's some guys who look at you like you're stupid because you can't do this. And I'm like,
right. And that's exactly what they do for real. You know, when you try to tell them that there's more, you can make this from scratch. It's going to take probably less time and it's going to taste more flavorful. But they look at you like, what are you saying? You know, it's simple. This is simple. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I'm doing some stuff and they're like, oh, we have package one around there. I'm like, really? And they went down and they bring it back and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, one of the weirdest things I saw over my years of doing, because I'm actually into pastry. I saw they made mousse from a bag, which is like powdered mix. Lots.
And I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, you can make a mousse from like 3 or 4 ingredients.
Or they just whip the cream. I think I have this powder thing that they just add to it.
Right. Just to give it a flavor. And it was crazy to me to see all of these things. But like I said, it's just adjusting yourself whenever you come to a different country or a different culture, you have to adjust yourself. And I'm always saying to them, I'd love to take you guys to Jamaica to really see hotel when, the pastry department running, when we have like gala on a weekend, I see you guys, suckling pig doily. I'd love you guys to come to Jamaica and see, because they think they have culinary here. Oh no. And I'm like, you guys need to come there. That's why I want them to really appreciate the chefs in Jamaica more and, support the industry and push, because if we're not motivated to keep pushing the cuisine, then what's going to happen? It's going to break down. And the culinary industry plays a big role in terms of our culture. Definitely. Not just music and sports. Definitely. And like I said, I feel like that's why they are losing so much of the good chefs, because one, sometimes I realize they don't even like to pay them good enough. You know what I mean? Like even if you're good enough for the job, they're not going to pay you as much as they would pay somebody that's coming from overseas. And that's something that needs to stop. Because international acclaim. Right. Because if you think about it, right, if you put one Jamaican chef in a kitchen, he can operate that kitchen by himself. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? I was working at Edenism Hotel, right? And one day I was on the range and I could manage that line by myself, cook for 20 people by myself. Like you come in at 3 o'clock, you go to the butcher shop, that it's chicken in the bin, the butcher have it for you already cut up. Right. You watch the season, put them on tray, you get your suckling pig inside, you season your meat, put it in, then you start your rice, you start your sauces, you have how many out for 300 or 400 people. Right. And it's like simple, right? Yeah. But here it's different because like I've held like position where I was in charge, and sometimes, like I say in the pastry shop, you write a prep list every day. Yeah. And then you'll give the list to the people over here when they're working, and they look at you like, okay. And at 3 o'clock, if their shift is done at 3, they're leaving at 3. Yeah, they leave at 3, yeah. You can't get them to work 3:01 or 3:02. They're going to be out of that kitchen at 3, and you can't do nothing about it. No. Because for them, it's all about their law, their rules, and their agency, and the union. Oh, right. If they have a union, that's even worse, bro. They take their smoke break, they walk around, and if they're there like a long time a senior, trust me, those are the devil. Those older folks, they're the devil oneself. Oh my gosh! They watch you, they talk about you, they complain about you, and they do nothing because they expect you to come and to be doing their work. Right. And their work is a problem, man. Man, that's sometimes I'm fed about this industry. I'm like, I'm dipping, I'm bouncing. I want to write music. I'm telling you, I'll be feeling like that sometimes. I definitely be feeling like that. But just now you made a statement about desserts, and I see that you have some experience in it. I see you did a lot of cakes on your page. Yeah. How did you get into desserts? Because it seems like you were more of a chef, like a cook, like, you know what I mean? On culinary side. That's a good question. All right. So when I was going to Renovate Heart, I realized a lot of kids or students at the time eat pastry. They don't like pastry. Right. Pastry was an enemy. And I love pastry from ever since. I used to buy the box cake mix. Used to make cake mix. I used to make they call it rock bun on weekends. I used to sell and all these stuff, and I used to work on lots of pastry recipes, right? So when I went to Renovate Heart now, I tell myself, I want to become a pastry chef. Right. Because for me, pastries are so relaxing.
you know your set day. If you're gonna baking, you're gonna decorating, you're the production. You know exactly what you're going in to do.
Right.
It can be crazy, but at least you're organized already, knowing what you're gonna do. Right. And I make a good white cake when I was with my exam, and my timing was good. And when I was at Cafe Mansion now, I used to do all the baking, like the lava cake, the creme brulee, and all of these stuff, and they're pretty good.
Right.
Then food cake, of course, was my first cake that I baked, and I said, yo, I need to work on my decorating skill because I cannot get the baking part. A lot need to work on decorating now.
Right.
So since of late now, with all COVID, I work in pastry in different restaurants here, manage pastry shop as well. But I haven't really dig deep into like doing stuff and posting it or stuff like that. But I can do it, right?
Right.
So since of late now, I've been doing a few cakes and stuff like, red velvet cake. And these are all from scratch, which people hardly can find here. I'm going into Black Forest next, which you're asking for a lot.
Right.
Original, authentic thing that I'm about.
Right.
And
not in the cake mix.
No cake mix. But pastry is definitely my first love.
Really?
Yeah, man. But it's something I'm looking into getting back into more. And honestly, I'm just like buying lots of tools. I have so many pastry tools right about now: piping, bag, tips, this, decorating stuff. I'm getting back there, man.
Right. That's a nice thing, man.
Better watch out.
Let me tell you something. It's really exciting and fun to hear when somebody, because most of the times I meet people and I tell them I do pastry and they're looking at me like, okay, you know what? It's too stressful. I can't deal with the measurement and it's too precise, and you know what I mean. And I'm thinking behind it. And that's what I love. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
That's what I love behind it. Yeah.
It's easy if once you understand what you're doing and you can follow instruction, then baking is not hard.
No, it's not.
I think most people just turn their mind away from it, like just automatically.
It's a formula, and then once you have it in your head, like I can make my red velvet from my head. I can make this on my head. I might just double check my book to make sure, okay, I got this, I got that, and I was thrown in a situation. Like honestly, all my life, I think the color purple is show, right? The color purple. When Oprah said I've been fighting all my life, I think Oprah said that, or Opie, one of them.
Right.
In fact, yeah, that's me. When it come on to most of these jobs, I'm always just thrown in it.
Right.
So
I just got to figure it out.
Man, I went to this place as a part-time for a few weeks. Pastry chef was going out. The pastry girl who was there was going off on vacation. She was filming for the pastry chef. Trust me, I had to manage a pastry shop for like 6 weeks, and I'm new there.
Oh, really?
She asked me, chef, like, well, can you? And I'm like, okay. And but I'm always trying to stuff, and I don't mind. Honestly, that's how you grow. That's how you grow when they show you off, you spread your wings and you fly.
You just got to figure it out, because that's what makes the brain work better. You know what I mean? When sometimes things are like presented to you, you don't have to work for it. But when you're thrown in a situation, then you have to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was at the museum at the Japanese restaurant. So once I finish my shift, I would always go over by the Japanese restaurant and look what they're doing. Tapanaki and grill and red.
Right.
And one night a girl felt, sick and she had to leave. My sous chef called me, Noel, I need you over by the Japanese restaurant on the grill. I'm like, I can't do that. I've never done that before. He said, Noel, I believe in you. Just go, do your thing, be yourself. And I'm like, okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome. And and I chop on the grill and I watch. Luckily, I'm always watching. And I'm saying this to say that, and as a chef, you have to read a lot.
Right.
Keep up with trends, what's happening. Like you're working at a restaurant, go to a different department, see what's happening. Different Japanese restaurant, the Italian. Don't just say, the Italian is not my thing.
Right.
You can't say you're a chef and you're just stuck to one thing.
And you know what? It's really good that you said that. When I finished Heart and I started I was working at Couples.
Yeah.
And I used
to say Couples
Ocherios. And then after a while I was working at both properties. But when I was working there, I used to be in all departments. The only place I did not go is the butcher shop, because I just couldn't deal with the butcher shop.
I did butcher.
Yeah, I was always afraid of that section. I don't know why. But while I was there, I was able to understand the pantry. I learned to ice carve and fruit and vegetables. I never worked, you know what I mean? And just by going around to these departments, I learned so much. Even even further in my life, I did the same thing. Every time I work at a property, I always try to go around and just pretty much try to learn or understand what's going on in each department, because you never know when it's going to come in handy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I used to go to the pantry and I used to do all the dressing and the salad. And if I'm on the main range, right? And most time the buffet is set. We have people watching it, doing stuff. I'm in the pantry, helping those girls making Caesar dressing, making ranch, setting up the platters, and you'll start learning different skills that way, you know.
Definitely.
Then sometimes I'm in pastry. So my chef will tell you, yo, Noel can do his work, but he walk up and down too much.
Right.
But by the time I'm walking up and down and they come and see me, I'm working in the next department.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, Noel. So if someone is absent from somewhere, they can show me. And then I did commis chef now, you know. And I did commis chef now, you know, that you do soup and sauce at San Souci, pastry at Bahia, you know, so.
Various properties. So that kind of helped you. So let's transition now. So maybe all these information you were gathering over the years is what helped you to create your book that you have right now on sale.
Yeah. So it's because the book is all about a journey, right?
Right.
So it's called Cuisine by Noel, a culinary journey.
Okay.
Through recipes and stories. So it's a book that I use to celebrate my 10 plus years as a chef.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was time to really put something out because while I was doing food and nutrition, I was so frightened, like, yo, I'm going to start doing my book. I'm going to do a book, but of course, you know, you need more time.
Right. So how long did you think about this idea of writing a book? How long was this thought process or this idea?
Well, the first was from like high school and was doing food and nutrition. Like from 2005, 4 when I started 7th grade, 8th grade year. Right. Yeah, man.
And so from then you knew you wanted to write a book.
Yeah, man. And I used to write down my recipes from then. So the recipes that I liked back then, I used to write it on a notebook back then.
Right.
And I would start to write down my recipes and start to formulate it, like, you know, serving time. Start writing the recipes and, you know, jotting down stuff.
Right.
But then, of course, you get busy and need more experience and time, right? So, of course, I put that on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Inspiration was always there. Then it came back 2016, yo, I need to do a book. But I didn't know what I want to do a book on because I'm like, people can Google
any recipe. Right.
What gonna makes your book different? And I said, yo, I'm gonna share my culinary journey. I'm gonna share my story with people.
Right.
So it has 7 chapters. For some reason, I just stuck with the number 7. And I didn't know all the 7 chapters are gonna fill.
Right.
And I started writing a book, and the book basically writes itself at the end of the day.
Right.
Because when I end the last chapter of the stories, the book ends the way it should have started, which is unique.
Right.
And that was my idea, but it just happened that way, which I love. So chapter 1 is all about, you know, growing up with my mom and aunt, got inspiration for cooking, The next chapter now is actually in high school, running away heart, leaving heart, now, you know, stuff like that. Then chapter 3 now is leaving country now, going back to Kingston as head chef for Cafe Mantra, where I got my break now doing Vibes Cuisine, you know, got teaching Observer, Entertainment Report, and start to make a name for myself now.
Right.
And chapter 4 now, I start to share my journey now from Jamaica, from Marvally to Manitoba, where I live first, and, you know, the journey of, you know, coming here and what happened. Chapter 5, you know, I just share my journey.
So it's pretty much the journey and then recipes that are
and recipes in between each chapters, yeah. And then there's like my mom recipe in there, and my mom pumpkin porridge recipe, my stepdad pot roast beef. I share the story of, you know, the inspiration also, and each day has its own little story. So it's not just a book of recipes.
Just a bunch of recipes in it.
But stories that keep you reading and say, oh, really? I didn't know this. Oh, cool. Yeah, man. And trust me, I hold back on nothing. I share everything.
That's very interesting, man.
A memoir.
I got to commend you on that. When I saw it, because actually somebody showed me. Yeah. And I was like, wow, because I was actually having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, you know, I wish more of the Jamaican, because I'm writing a book too, actually, you know what I mean? But I wish that more of the culinary, you know, candidates, or Jamaican chefs or Caribbean chefs on a whole would now start documenting stuff that they're doing.
Oh, yeah, that's our problem, You know
what I mean? Because I realized that other cultures, what they do is they document the stuff that they do, and once it's documented, it can be implemented in a way where it could be a norm now. You know what I mean? Like if you think about when we just started out in culinary, they teach about Escoffier and they teach about the kitchen brigade. These are all stuff that were created, you know, 50, 60 years ago. These chefs wrote all of these things down. They standardized it. And that's why it could be implemented throughout the world. It became a standard. And if we want to change the way people look at Jamaican food or Caribbean food, we have to start standardizing things. We have to start writing records.
Just go and say, or grandmother say, yo, one pinch. Or grandmother pinch is even from my pinch.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the hand.
I have most Jamaican will tell you, say, look, I'm not cook from recipe. I did an article because I write for the Toronto Caribbean newspaper, right?
Yes.
And the article, essential kitchen tools that you need to have. I said, as a home cook, you need to have measuring cup, measuring spoon. And I put dry and wet measuring cup and, a list of maybe 12 or 13 stuff that you need to have.
Right.
And people ask me for recipes. Chef Noel, I love your fried dumpling recipe. They're so neat, like they went to college or university and then grew up in their grandparents and stuff. And I said, I use a recipe. So I send a recipe, 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, I don't have a measuring cup. They must use a cup of grandma always.
You see him the teacup.
What will the cup break? Or somebody got for the cup.
Oh my God.
So for my little audience that I have, I try to tell them, because I have a cooking class every Thursday on my page on Facebook, and I said, come with a measuring cup, come with a measuring spoon.
Yeah.
Because I only give measurement.
Definitely.
When I go a dash at this, a pinch at that, I don't know what is that.
Right.
My dash and your dash.
Exactly. And
come out good.
That's definitely true, man. Like I said, if you don't structure your thing, it's going to be hard for you to even implement it, to even bring it across the world. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the when I was working back then in Jamaica, like, we used to do that. A lot of the recipes is like, you get it the first day.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody gave you, but it's not like a standard recipe. Yeah. They don't have baking time. They don't have baking temperature. Like most of the stuff when I was working in the kitchen in couples is everything is baked at 350.
350. That's not the temperature.
You know what I mean? If you're baking something that's 350, it don't matter what it is. Cheesecake 350. You know what I mean? But
and the thing is with baking, right? There are some stuff you start off at 350, but then at what point do I turn it down at 325?
Right.
You have to turn down some stuff. Mm-hmm. Turn it down.
They don't know that. You know what I mean? So, they don't even understand about, you got some ovens that you have to calibrate them. You know what I mean? Because they'll burn high on one side and low on the other side. You know what I mean?
You find that also now writing recipe is a big problem for a lot of chefs. They don't know food writing.
No.
And for me, that's something that I kind of run towards early. So I started doing recipes contribution for the Jamaica Gleaner, right? I started doing contribution for Cooking Sense magazine in Barbados, and we call it, and I know I have a column in the Toronto Caribbean newspaper, and I contribute to magazines. I started writing. Trust me, you learn so much.
So did you go to school for that, to learn to write recipes, like standardized recipes? This is something that you just learned on your own?
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, man. So what happened is that, like, now when I look back on some recipe when I just started, I'm like, I wish I had done this different. Because you grow after a while, really and truly you grow. But it's something that you have to do, like, in it, because there are a lot of rules to writing recipes, right? And say, for example,
Pastrybear TV, big up.